this organic open?
Uh,
Just
we could do a cold open
hey,
about the stupid about all the statues have come down.
those statues don't deserve to exist. This
I
man,
don't know. You
this
know
man
they're
deserves
not.
to exist.
Yeah, but I don't know. You know they're not. If you haven't noticed, anytime they pull down, especially a lot of the Confederate ones, they just crumple like they're made of tinfoil.
They're
Because
basic.
they're made of shitty brass and they're hollow. They're
Think,
mass produced bullshit.
think of the man that had to chew the fucking numerous amounts of packs of gum to get that foil. He's
But
got
no,
he's got the strongest
over
jaw
a brief history of
and
a
the blackest
great
heart.
American hero. And by great American hero, I mean black guy who
Honestly,
got out of slavery.
my heart's
'Cause
so black,
that's
I hate it.
somehow all we get.
Honestly, he is actually a hero to me. Like every time I read this, this is gonna be a two-parter because as I'm going through his biography and reading and listening various stuff in the articles I chose, I'm excited about it. Like it's just if I didn't want to ruin his information so much, I'd make it sound like an action movie. It really doesn't. It's like it's interesting and it's good material. It's not an action movie because I don't want to drown out what he actually did.
Like it's not an action movie, but it is definitely a thriller.
Yeah, if this happened, niggas would just be talking about it on the corner every day. It did happen. Ah, shit. Cut that.
All right, so we've been talking for like a good 5 minutes. We should probably say his name. We were talking about Robert Smalls.
Robert Smalls.
So Robert Smalls is born in April, about April 5th, 1839. Basically behind what's a cookhouse called? A cookhouse.
What's a cookhouse called? A cookhouse.
Yeah, it's a cookhouse. All right, so
not only did you answer your own question, but you answered your own question with the question.
Way back in the oldie-timey days in the South, and before air conditioning, generally kitchens weren't part of the house; they were separate.
That really.
So you keep the heat out.
That's
where your slave works.
I guess that is the South. So I was gonna say, well, what about in the winter when you want the heat in?
Then you'd have furnaces. Do you expect them to build a blanket fort to the house to direct the heat into the house?
It's not a bad idea. Now, hear me out. Think about the fun times you could have traveling to the house.
Yeah,
not as a slave. But in modern times, I'm talking about in modern times, you would have lots of fun traveling to the house.
Yeah, that does sound dope to have a blanket fort to direct from the kitchen to the house, but that would take ingenuity, and the type of people who steal a bunch of other people to do work for them generally aren't very intuitive.
You got a point.
Anyway, so he's born in Beaumont, South Carolina. His mom's name is Lydia. She grows up in the fields, but begins to serve in the house about the time he's born. There's very little information about who his dad is. Some think it's her owner, which we're not going to talk about because this is a comedy. Or it could be John the Conqueror.
John the Conqueror?
Yeah, don't worry about that joke.
Why?
Nobody gets that joke.
Why do you have to bring in other context in this context? You can't just say John the Conqueror. I don't know John the Conqueror yet. Maybe someday we'll do it.
Yeah, don't worry.
But
this joke will make
I have
total
to know
sense
now
in
because
the
man's name is Conqueror.
No, that's half the joke is that no one's going to know who this is. Just know John the Conqueror. That's the joke. Anyway, so his last name's not actually... His dad's last name isn't Smalls. That's the name of the slave manager at the time. Some guy named Patrick Smallsdick.
Smallsdick?
Smallsdick.
Oh, so he just... It's... Okay, is it Smalls hyphen Dick? And he just dropped the hyphen Dick?
I think the dick is silent.
How's the Dick silent? Because
I'm
it's
just
not in
saying.
Robert Small's name. Dick is not in
Yeah,
Robert Small's
exactly.
name.
Yeah, like his mom didn't add that to there. Why would she? Anyway, so at this time, the McKee, like John McKee, who owns them, their slave master, he starts favoring Mrs. Smalls. Well, she doesn't actually have a last name. They never add that.
With her last name, I'll cut in there for a minute. With her last name, it was kind of hard to, because some of the articles have differing information in it and everything, so it's kind of hard to tell which one it was, and so I just put her name in there.
But he favored Robert more than the other slave children, much to the point that Robert almost stabbed him once, and nothing happened.
I just, oh god,
Not like a
like
playful stab.
I'm like, oh, I got your nose. Give me that shit back. What? Give me it back. And then you just start doing little knife dance at him, like, oh, oh, oh.
Don't know where he got a ballad song in the 17th century. The 17th
What?
century or the 19th century? The 19th century.
It-
But he's got a ballad song. He's
It's
got to
a-
pull the butterfly knife out.
Hey, buddy, it's just a joke. You know, I got you. Is that a knife?
Anyway, his mom, seeing that he's favoring him, gets it in her head to do the proper thing, which is make him understand the full context of slavery. And basically sends him out to the field to work and see the whipping post. Which I don't know if we really need to explain the whipping post.
No, it's in the name.
Kind of implied in it's in the name. You know what's going on.
You do not. Yeah, that's one you don't have to explain, and really shouldn't. Shouldn't have to.
So this leads Robert Smalls to a very, very proper attitude of defiance and resistance to the whole, institution of being proper.
Got to.
Much to the point that his great granddaughter Helen Bouvier Moore and historian Marvin Dunlaney, that basically he found himself very often trying to murder white people. Like there's plans. Like it's not stated obviously so that white people can see it, but he's probably tried to escape and thrown revolts a couple times.
I'll cut in there for real quick. I guess you wouldn't. Honestly, you wouldn't probably be wrong, because it said he frequently found himself in the Beaufort jail.
Beaufort?
Yeah, Beaufort jail. Man, the South has got some names. I'm glad I'm from the Midwest. Yeah, Beaufort jail. So I mean, I guess he would kind of be in there, because all the local police had to know him too. So they probably knew he was McKee's favorite, and they're probably like the same way. It's just like little sketches of like dynamite exploding underneath fucking John Boy's bed, and it's like, oh god, Robert. And then they all do like the sitcom shrug, and Robert's just like cold eyed, like I'm gonna kill you.
This would actually make a really great TV show.
You'd get like 3 episodes.
I could probably get like 3 episodes. So it's a mini-series we pitch to Netflix and get that Netflix money.
They don't deserve Robert Smalls.
They don't. Anyway, back to the actual presentation. So his mom's asking for his safety, and basically, asks McKee to let him go up north, near a place called somewhere in the south, around like North Carolina, called like I don't know, Bel Air.
Don't do this.
I'm saying you just gotta let that slide.
Don't do it. No, don't do it. I can't laugh.
You're
We
trying
can't just
really
be
hard not to.
laughing at our own bits the entire.
Anyway, gets him sent up
On his
north.
way out,
He goes up
did he
north,
yell,
and
"Yo, home, smell you later"? I'm done. Okay, go ahead.
No, but that'll be in the Netflix original.
Yeah.
So basically, he gets hired out on the waterfront as a train conductor, miner, ballistics expert, sword fighter, blacksmith, and like a coalman at a like in an Ironside. And so basically, he becomes an expert navigator of the South Carolina and Georgia coasts.
You kind of got yourself.
Uh,
You got half of a grade on actual information there. I guess I'll wait till the end to go back on it.
like I guess like 19th century's jobs.
You didn't put newsy in there.
I don't think black people are allowed to be newsies, Ricky.
They just hand out newspapers. He was maybe about 14 at the time. Still be an adorable little newsie.
Anyway, he's only allowed to keep like none of his wages. Like none. I'm kidding. He got like maybe let's say 5%.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, he is McKee's favorite, so he had to have been able to keep his money.
Anyway, it's like a somehow roughly like I don't know $500 a week in 2019. I'm not the best with inflation. Ricky
$500
didn't
a
give
week.
me.
So you're talking about the inflated price at that?
Yeah, I don't know. You know that, Ricky. You didn't give me an inflation price. You didn't even give me the formula. I had to just kind of guess this. I'm not good at inflation math.
Yeah, nigga, that's the point of improv. You just guess
Yeah.
shit. But also,
Yeah,
$500 a week.
I'm guessing. I don't use that
Was
minor
this man a
business I
goddamn
have.
porn star? This man a goddamn chainsaw juggler? Because chainsaw jugglers deserve $500 a week.
Is that a lot of money or a little money?
D-Day, you're saying roughly to today, $500 a week.
Yeah.
You think a slave nowadays, I don't know how to phrase this.
It's only like $2,000 a month, Ricky. That's $2,400. That's below the poverty line.
Okay, and what were slaves back then?
Chattel.
Yeah, way below the poverty line.
Touche. But once again, you didn't give me actual math.
I don't have to give you the actual math. It's just guessing. I didn't think you were going to guess $500 a week.
It seemed like a good price. Anyway, he got really good at coastal navigation, and by age 19, pretty much knew Charles Houses better than nobody knew it better than Robert Smalls.
Okay, so this is the first part. I'm going to jump in on this paragraph. I will actually, honestly, give you an honest C for that because you got real close with the jobs he had. Lamplighter. So just they just gave him a lighter and said, "Get to work."
Okay, that's not how a lamplighter works. I'm the presenter this time.
All right, fail me, fucker. Steve Door foreman. So I'm guessing that would be kind of like the Ironside Coleman.
So a stevedore foreman.
Yeah.
That's basically a conductor, I think.
Yeah,
I think a stevedore is a ship of some sort.
Yeah. Steve's got that one. Sailmaker, rigger, and sailor. And then, okay, so the wages. He was allowed to keep $1 a week, which is roughly $31.13 in 2019. And you said $500. That's why you got a C.
Listen, you put percentage at the top and you put dollars at the bottom.
It's not a percentage. It says got to keep.
Yeah, you see how there's no dollar sign?
So it got to keep blank of his wages, and you immediately went to percentages.
Yes, because you put dollars on the next line.
You fucking mathematician asshole.
Anyway, I'm just saying. I don't know how money works really well. I just know that 24 about $500 a week is under the poverty line. Anyway, basically from all the stuff we've learned, the lamp lighting and the sailor tailoring, he gets a job on the planter. It's also where he met his wife, Hannah, also a slave of the Kingsman family, working in a Charleston hotel.
This is kind of an editor's note on this. I believe it's Hannah Jones. Maybe I think I forgot to put that in there. It might be Hannah Jones, might not. That's why I accredit all the videos so you can do the research yourself.
Also, kids generally, if like their last name is Jones and they're black, yeah, they're from America. The well shown to a lot of slaves, like a lot of slaves. Anyway, so with their owner's permissions, they're like the two could like kind of marry. Like they had basically what you would call a slave marriage license. Like they already jumped the broom. That's a ceremonial thing. Like they could still probably be sold like split apart, sold on the river.
Curled their hands around.
Sold down the river, an actual idiom for like sending slaves down the river to the like farther south, where somehow the treatment was usually worse.
Oh shit! Don't get ahead of yourself.
What did you put that idiom in here?
I think. If I did it,
Do
then
I get
if I did it, then good job doing it now.
if it is? Do I get bonus points?
I'll give you. I will give you 5 credits from part 2
Credits for part two.
because I think
Anyway,
I meant to put that in part 2 somewhere. So I'll give you 5 credits ahead of time. Just whoever I do it with, don't tell them.
anyway, Hannah's like 15 years his senior, and she's already had like 2 daughters. They have first kids together. Elizabeth Lydia Smalls, was born in February 1865.
DJ.
3 years later, they have a son, Robert Jr., who unfortunately passed away like 2 years later. Slavery, being a slave, not a good time, not good for your health.
No, I mean everybody's health was horrible back then, but slaves got it much worse.
Much worse. I mean, it's not very much better right now,
Yeah.
but this isn't about political commentary, it's about comedy.
Well,
And it's really hard
even,
to do that with slavery.
even just that. Yeah, slaves had it much harder, but like kids back then, you could just lose a kid. Like you just let him go for 2 minutes, and then he just walks away into the tall grass, and he's just not a kid anymore. He's just
Ricky, we're not talking about little Bobby Dunbar, which we both agree.
he just comes back as like a corn man. He was raised by the corn. 15 years later. Also, I just want to jump in real quick and do another quick cite. You said she was 15 years his senior.
Yeah,
How old is he supposed to be right now?
19?
D-Day, how old would that be?
34.
Like I know shit was loose back then, but it's not. Goddamn, my teacher texted me and now we're married.
Alright, Ricky, I don't know, if I'm not going to directly lie to these people for comedy, I'm going to guess. And I don't know if you figured out, I'm kind of an idiot.
That's what improv
I'm not
is.
good at guessing.
Don't let anybody tell you wrong, folks. That's what improv is. Just lying to people.
I'm lying to you guys. And if it sounds like my guess is way too off, it's serious, it means I'm an idiot. I be on that dumb bitch juice. Anyway. So, basically, there's no guarantee of a permanent union. Well, like Smalls asked his wife owner if he could just purchase her, so he could just have his family outright. You had to buy all of them, because they're chattel slavery, and chattel means that your property is, like, your property and your propensity as a slave is inherited by your children. They're also slaves.
I just want to note the sentence I put in here for that. They agreed, but at a steep price, to be able to have ownership of his own life. You didn't own
Uh,
your own life until you bought it.
yes, your chattel property. You're basically a cow.
I just want to foot stomp that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, the price is like fucking 1 grand in 19th century money. So like a good 100K, maybe a million. Once again, I'm not good with
Oh,
inflation, folks.
you an advanced an advanced grade on that. I'd say a C again, because C's kind of halfway between failing and advancing.
I'm
At
just
least,
making it by.
at least, at least that's what I told myself. A C's about average, so that means D's right below average.
Smalls, unfortunately, only has like $800.
Mm.
They were not. They were not gonna give him that. Like they were not gonna give him that. You can't give. You can't get like. You can't get that discount. You
Can't
can't get that side.
can't do
You
that.
can't get that upside.
Now Smalls. Listen, Smalls. I know you're one of McKee's favorites, but we can't cut you a break here. I'm gonna light your feet on fire and then make you walk across the river of wax. What? How are you? Are you? Oh, Smalls, you're kidding me again, aren't you? I'm gonna give you a Colombian necktie that'll be invented in another 100 years. Now, we don't like Colombians either.
They did not like the indigenous folk. Yes. All right. So, unbeknownst to the slave owners, who clearly are out of their goddamn minds with these prices of owning people in their life, basically, Smalls has two things going for him. One, we talked about earlier, he's a damn good navigator. Two, he looks very much like a certain captain. I'm bringing up his name now. Sorry about the pause. Captain, what fucking name is this?
It's a southern name. That's what fucks me up about this one so much is you got the two motherfuckers that can't pronounce names the most, and we have to do southern names, which are like an amalgamation of French, Spanish, and whatever the fucking donkey said at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, the fucking antebellum. Anyway, Riley. I'm gonna go with Riley. That sounds about right. So basically, what Robert's gonna do is he's gonna fucking steal an Ironside. He's gonna straight up jag a boat. You know how in every D&D campaign you want to steal like a ship and become pirates, or possibly steal an airship and become sky pirates, skyrates.
Oh,
That's what he literally does.
fuck. So
That's his plan.
you're telling me that Robert Smalls is the first Vin Diesel?
Yes.
Robert
He's too
Smalls,
fast.
Fast and Furious, a fucking boat off of a river?
Yes.
Nice. I do want to
Once
run
again.
back real quick. Like this isn't a blank or anything. It's when I would talk about he's look enough alike Captain Riley. As in I mean it explains it later a little more, but it's not like actually physically looks like him. It's just he can be the captain. And then
He can put his shirt on. He's probably got about the same build. You hold your hat down and they can't see your hands. They don't know you're black.
there's only two builds in the South. Black or white, there's only two builds in the South. I ain't gonna explain that, I'm just gonna say it. And going back a little bit on the prices. So I'm once again middling you out with a C. I'm bumping you up to a B. Just not for actual information. This one's for improv. Because the actual price that he had for his life back then was $800. 1,800, really close. 100,000 roughly in 2019, not even close. 2,300 and wait, 23 $4,942.
Once again, I'm not good with inflation.
But
All the
you
all the
said,
macroeconomics in my business minor from college are literally a waste.
but
I
you
probably
said,
spent $23,000 on that, and that's a complete waste of my life.
you said Smalls only had $800,
Yes,
and I bumped you up in improv to fuck it an A with that because that means Smalls would have been good to go.
but this is just better
Oh yeah,
because he gets to keep
the
the
fact,
wait,
the fact that he didn't have the money is much, sadly, unfortunately, much better. Because Lord knows
like
where he
I don't
would be.
know, because it's funnier if he does have the money. It's like no, fuck them guys. Too fast, too furious. Tokyo Drift. The anachronisms is what makes it funny.
What?
So anyway, so we're at the outbreak of the war, of the Civil War in March of 1861, and the Battle of Gettysburg. Now I know what you're thinking. It should be the Battle of Gettysburg. No, much like Jiff and GIF, apparently you're supposed to pronounce it like a J.
You gonna do this?
Yes.
You gonna Jeff and Jeff us right now?
Yep, GIF and Jiff. Have fun with that, folks. Have that argument. Anyway, by the
You
fall
gonna
of
Jeff and
1861,
Gee off us?
yes. I'm gonna gack you guys all off with this stupid argument.
Don't say gack. Don't say gack
Yes.
off.
So the fall of 1861, he's signed to Smalls is again signed to steal the CSS Planter, one of those like Ironside ships. They're like battleships, but 19th century battleships. Don't expect very much.
So you're basically taking the door panel off a car and just tying some string to it and put it on a boat.
Yeah, basically.
90s, 80s era car when it was real metal.
Like you know how Mad Max cars look like that, but a ship, and it floats. So SeaWorld.
Like that, but it's supposed to be professional.
Yeah. So it's like a professional SeaWorld ship. Anyway, he's under the command of Charleston's district commander, Brigadier General Buttslap.
Probably... It'd be so late. It's oh man. That's what's upsetting about it being an audio medium, because it slowly rolled over my eyes.
Alright, so his duties on the Planter were to basically, keep the ship sails up, and also slowly communicate with the other signalmen so that they can get through checkpoints. That was going to come up important later, people. So he pilots the Planter throughout Charleston Harbor and beyond, taking stuff places, just being angry, plotting his revenge. From the Charleston Harbor, you can basically you can see the Mason-Dixon line more or less about 7 miles away from Charleston.
Mason-Dixon line. Well, how big is Dixon?
It's.
I guess you know how big when Dixon. Fucking got it, dude. Fucking end the podcast.
Fucking mint. Anyway, so as we all can establish, he's plotting and scheming, so he's got to put his face on. And basically, what his plan is he's talking with the other slaves in the thing, except for one. Doesn't trust that guy. And that guy's shifty.
Shifty.
His name was Jeff, but his actual nickname was, of course, Tattling Jeff Shifty Eyes.
His real name was his... Hold on, his real name was his nickname?
No, his nickname is Jeff. I mean, his real name is Jeff. His nickname is Tattling Jeff Shifty Eyes.
Oh, so his nickname is just longer than his real name because he's just
Yes.
always on some snitch mood.
Yes. Just stay snitching. Don't even have a reason. Just dry as hell. Snitching like it's Sahara.
That's another quick site. I could not find that man's name, and I'm actually kind of glad because he was indoctrinated. He was in it, so I don't think his people deserve that. So I just put blank and blank, and you said Jeff. Where'd you get Jeff from? How do you spell it? Continue.
All right, so it's like opportunity comes in like on May 12th, 1862. It's traveled about 10 miles south of Charleston, and it's stopped at Coles Island. Basically, they're there to ship some stuff from an old riverboat that's been dismantled. Now, everyone who's from St. Louis knows what a riverboat is.
We're gonna make this goddamn riverboat a casino.
No, it's not actually a casino. We are literally talking about an actual riverboat going down a river.
This riverboat's gonna be a casino.
It might be a casino in the future.
Smalls, let me tell you something. This casino is gonna be the most flippinest, flappinest. What are you saying to me right now? The most hokiest, jokiest. We're gonna have you on stage. I'll burn this bitch down. Smalls, you always know how to crack my sides.
Alright, so back in Charleston before they left, crew loaded about 200 pounds of munitions, about 200 cords of firewood. I don't actually know how to read cords. It's one of those weird measurements we don't talk about. Imperialism, like imperial metrics are garbage. Anyway, by evening, they've docked at the Riverboat Queen, actually a casino. Riverboat.
So it's a riverboat docked at a riverboat that is a casino that's docked at a dock.
Yes, but it's a riverboat. So it's a riverboat at a riverboat to do riverboat stuff.
Oh, if I like that one as much. I'm going to re-give you this. It is... So the planter was docked as usual at the...
Tallahassee brothel? Discount brothel?
Yes. At the old Tallahassee discount brothel, where the women are adequate. Old Tallahassee discount brothel, where all the women are at least C's. Not in bra size.
Tallahassee discount brothel. They got 2 eyes.
Tallahassee discount brothel. You won't leave disappointed, because you just won't leave.
Tallahassee discount brothel. I mean, you hungry, ain't you?
I know, I got it better. Tallahassee discount brothel. I mean... And the rest is just the emoji of someone with their arms up.
They painted it on there.
What is that?
They have no... They have like no
gonna
use
call
for
it
a front slash.
An emotional icon, sir. That sounds gay. I can say that only because I'm saying it in the character. Please don't at me.
This is the 19th century, and this joke is stupid. But we're gonna keep going. We just had a line around about a discount brothel.
Don't at me.
All right, I think we gotta finish that. All right, so once the white officers leave the ship, because sleeping on the ship is beneath them, and discount brothel.
We gotta get to that. We gotta get to that goddamn brothel. I hear they sell out by midnight.
I heard there's a lady there who could read. That's actually a really good deal at this time. I don't think literacy is that highly advanced. I don't remember anymore. I want to say yes. I want to say no.
Especially not for officers. That's right. I have my own prejudice here for officers because enlisted does the real work.
Anyway, so they're off the ships, and Smalls basically gets down, brings out his shaves his head off, puts his sunglasses on, does his little grumble, and makes a plan with the other slaves.
We're gonna fucking book it out of this town. Yes'm.
Cause like we're gonna book it for family.
We gotta do this for
Other
family and VCRs. What?
Alright, so basically
Isn't that what they were stealing in the first one? Fucking VCRs? It was like VCR DVD players or something like that. We gotta steal these VCRs for family.
I think they were. I don't remember what's going on in the first Fast and the Furious. Nobody does, because at the end they have a hammer fight. Like, why am I supposed to remember anything that happens in the first one?
A hammer fight?
There's a hammer fight between
we can't get
Diesel
into this,
and
DJ.
Jason
Let's
Stamos. Alright, so basically, they like, once they do the report, like, once you can find from the report, it's like one slave staying behind. Because the plan is basically a suicide mission. Like, this is either going to work, or we're all going to die, and we are fine with it.
I think
Like, they left munitions on there. We're gonna we're either getting to freedom or going to glory. May 13th, Smalls and 7 of the 8 slave crewmen made their previously planned escape to the Union blockade camp. Smalls puts on a captain uniform, wears a straw hat similar to the captain's, sailed the planner just as well as anyone could, because he could do that. And then was called Sir, made him feel cocky, and so he decides to go get his wife and his children and the family of the other crewsmen. Now, God, like, what Smalls has to do to get there is get through all these Confederate blockades. He's got to get through about 10 of them. And what you have to do with these 10 blockades is you have to give proper hand signals and, like, as to let them know you've got call signs. It's basically secret passwords. He's got to remember and properly do 10 signals just on the off chance that they're the correct password to get to freedom.
Federal gang signs.
And you know what he does?
So it was federal gang signs.
Yes, it's a signal. That's what gang signs are. So basically, he copies the previous captain's. He's got it down pat. He's actually just memorized all the codes. Not that hard. And the alarms only get raised.
What was that
afterwards?
What was that captain's name?
Because Captain.
You don't remember that captain? You remember the captain?
Captain. Captain comes softly.
No, but yes, it can be now. He got a promotion, so he changed names.
Like Brigadier General Ropes a lot. Oh no, I remember now. I got it right. It's Brigadier General Butt Slaps. That's the best name. Best name I could come up with. Anyway, the alarms
Come softly. Hey, Captain, come softly is my father. Call me Butt Slap.
The alarm only gets raised after they get past the 10th blockade, and it might be because Smalls might have pulled his dick out. Might have just been there, dick out.
So as he's getting closer out of their gun sight, he's just like, hey, fucking check this out. Is that
dick?
Is that a nigga with his dick out?
We've been had.
They've got us again.
So basically, they get seen moored by the USS Onboard, another Union Ironside, once again battleship, which is about to fire into the crewmen. Literally, just show them, yell and shout, "We're escaping! We're goddamn slaves escaping! Look at us!" In the dark, it's kind of hard to see, but they somehow just miraculously get through. They just barely get into the right kind of moonlight.
That is a D. What kind of lie is that? They just miraculously do it? What are they, fucking magicians?
Listen, I had to rewrite the sentence because you blanked out like you didn't blank out enough like you blanked out context I needed to make the sentence make sense of the last one.
That's the point of lying.
I'm getting called a clearly bad
Uh,
lies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
well, with that, mm, so they raised the alarm after they were out of beyond gun range, which would be the perfect time to actually take your dick out and waggle it at your enemy. So that's staying in. That's actual history now. And what they actually, so they used a white bed sheet from his wife as the flag, and that's when they decided not to fire on them. And in the
So they
darkness,
were
it was
using the
difficult
official
to see.
Confederates.
In darkness, it was difficult to see, but the sunrise arrived and allowed viewing,
Yeah, then they could see the official Confederate flag.
which is okay. Yeah, a white sheet. You ain't wrong. A slightly soiled white sheet.
All right, so when does this account basically tell the story? Just as about they're about the user about the fire at him, Robin goes, "Oh hell no! I've been too fast and too furious for this to fail now."
You don't know how many fucking Mississippi drifts I had to do on these shores. I ain't taking it down now.
And that's when someone notices, "Hey, that captain is black and talking like Vin Diesel." Basically, what we learn is that like he's literally sitting on top of this like ship, got his dick back in the pants, waving the flag, got his hat on. Then he promises to become the Pirate King, and they take him to the Fort Sumter. And then basically they get to Fort Sumter. One of the captains shows up, and Smalls basically just says, "Hey, you guys want a ship?" And at that point, he surrenders the Sumter, like he surrenders the planter and his cargo to the U.S. Navy, and his escape plan has literally worked, like every Fast and Furious movie ever.
Most of the time, I think most of the time it works. I haven't watched Fast and Furious past Tokyo Drift. I don't have many references that I can do.
Ricky, they steal cars, they go fast, they steal more cars and go faster.
Yeah, but I think at some point they do actually steal a real ass submarine.
No, they steal the tank.
That's just a land submarine. Uh,
And once again, I believe it is either Vin Diesel or the Dwayne the Rock Johnson has a hammer fight with Jason Statham.
got to. That's got to happen. So you get a 100% D on that last one.
Yeah,
I'm try and help you out here. So true enough, there was so basically what it's a witness account. So there's a guy that went in for all of these books and everything and biographies that they did on him, and he's basically putting in like, hey, true enough, there was something flying on that steamer that would have been white if application of if application by soap and water. And you also got to remember this is 1800s way of talking, so of course it all sounds choppy and weird, but that's because he's southern and half of his vocabulary is dedicated to how to yell at pigs. There's not one way to
I'm.
yell at pigs, there's several ways.
There are different ways to call pigs. I mean, you got your sueys, you got your geese.
But I did want to focus on one part of that paragraph at least. There was a rush of contrabands out on her deck. This man describes these black people as contraband.
I mean, yes, once again, property.
Yeah, I know. It's always so weird and hard reading that stuff. So basically, overall, I will give you about 5 seaweed casseroles out of 38.
38. That's a really bad grade.
Dita, you got 5 whole seaweed casseroles. Most people
Are
only
they?
get a half.
I mean, that's true.
You got to pick a lot of seaweed to make those.
And seaweed is endangered.
See, seaweed's endangered.
Tallahassee Disco Brothel. At least 2 limbs and one's a leg.
Tallahassee, Tallahassee Discount Brothel. If you find a tooth in your drink, then you're the raffle winner.